new TV.
Let's do a countdown. And, yeah, okay, no countdown. Hit the button.
Hi, TV.
Hi, TV. Oh, that worked.
Hold on. Did he just say hi to the TV?
Yeah, honey, that's how it works. How did you know that?
Tyler has one. What do you think we're doing when I'm over there?
No, I don't know. Calling girls and hanging out?
What?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all the TVs are home. I gotta pull these out of here today and put them away and check them out. These are the TVs that were at the LA County Fair. The Magnavox, CTC16, and the Zenith. And they ran these, let me see, they were there for a little over a month. And they ran them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And there was a time where, for about a week and a half, where they didn't turn them off at all. They just left them on straight, so that's 24/7 for like 2 weeks. I also got a couple other sets here that are most likely EOL sets. A friend of mine found these on the curb. This is an RCA on the swivel base. Oh, it's not a TV, it's a stereo monitor. So what is that? Oh, I guess it has a tuner in it. Let's see, what is this one? Sony Trinitron WEGA. SDTV. So does this have the digital tuner in it? This might have the digital tuner in it. 2007. It's got two. Oh wow, look at that. It's got an ATSC input and a VHF UHF input. Really? So this sucker's ready to go. Well, I don't think we're going to EOL this one. I could probably, if it works, I could probably find a home for it. Let's give this one a try first. The remote for this was, the people that set these out on the curb left the remote on top of that RCA, and I'm kind of curious to see if this works. I have to start this, I need to start this video off with the Samsung commercial of them putting the flat screen out on the curb that's a few years old. They're actually, the manufacturers are actually endorsing that now in their videos, their commercials. Oh wow, what? That sure looked like a bad CRT to me. It was just all purple and then it cut off. Well, maybe this is an EOL, or the way that CRT came up and it was just all, it looked like red, green or blue was missing. It was just all purple. We'll let it sit for a while. Let's take a look at the 25cc50 first. This one actually did just fine. No problems with the Zenith at all. Take my buck boost transformer out of there. I had it running on, I had all of them running on reduced line voltage, and then I had fans up underneath here, a couple muffin fans to blow air up into the chassis. This is an interesting chassis. It's actually got an IC, transistors, and tubes. Now I remember the CRT on this thing being slightly weak, especially at 5 volts, which I'm at a little bit over 6.3, but I don't remember this. So I think it was pretty much on its way out, and the 1 month of non-stop use pretty much finished it off. I mean, this green is coming up, but it's already been on for 5 minutes. Go down to like 5 volts. It's kind of weird because the red gun is usually the one that goes bad. Try the WEGA again, since it's been sitting turned off for a few minutes. It's working now. I know the camera's blanking it out, but it is purple. The remote doesn't. Remote doesn't do anything. It looks like the remote's dead. I'm gonna just let this sit and run for a while, see what happens. Next up is a CTC16, and not only did this thing do the fair, this thing also did the Museum of Contemporary Art 12 hours a day for 3 months. And this has all the original capacitors in it except I think 2 or 3 electrolytics that went open. Wow. So this has the fake knobs on it, and it has a ton of greasy fingerprints all over it. Okay, so let's take a look inside this one. This one had a brightener on it. Got my backup supply of goodies there. And there's a tuner. I'm going to put this thing all back together. Check the CRT. Original flyback too. This set is... All these diodes were changed at one time, and I put a CL90 in there. But besides that, it's all original. And actually, I would have to confess, I didn't remove the old capacitors out of the circuit because I fixed this in the parking lot of Mocha. I just tacked one across the bottom. There's a video on that somewhere. So an hour later, it's still, I know the camera's blanking it, but it's still just purple. So this thing is definitely, you can look at this and you can see that the CRT is just dead in this thing. So this is a definite EOL set. We could have a purple EOL, I guess. Speaking of purple, look at the rear. Rear part of the gun here. See how they look like burnt, overheated metal? And this is not rule, this is not law, but this is something that I've kind of noticed along with a friend of mine who does vintage color TVs, is that a high hour tube, the metal is all blued in the back. Again, that's not a rule, you always got to test it, but it's something that we've noticed. You can see that gun is not nearly as burnt looking. These two. Now I expect this to be dead because I was running a brightener on it. It was already dead. You know, boy, this is just completely... So this is what happens when you run a brightener on a CRT. You run a brightener on a CRT and 1 month later it's completely gone. So that's what, about 8 volts? Let's go up to about 9 volts. Thing's almost glowing white. $10 volts. They want to see above 0.8. They want to see between 0.8 and 1 milliamp. So at 10 volts, it's not even good. Let's go back down to 6.3. Dead. Okay, let's have a look at the Magnavox. I could really care less about this set. I got this in the house. I gotta put the factory knobs back on. And I want to remove this so I can store it upside down on top of another set. Let's see how this CRT did. Huh. Not bad. The Magnavox did pretty well. I did have a bucking transformer on it here to knock it down about 8 volts. So I got to put this one all back together. Yeah, I mean the CRT is tired, but now I believe the horizontal output tube I thought was weak on this, which someone put a 6 BQ5 or 6 BQ6 in here. Is supposed to be a 6 DQ, the next size up. I'm going to test this. Nothing wrong with that tube. It's on, I got it on 5 volts, and it's full smack, no leakage. Nothing wrong with this tube at all. And it's a 6, I always get the 6 BQ5 and the 6, it's a 6 BQ6, and the bigger one is a 6 DQ6, as in David. Okay, all back together. I got this glued back on. I got this off so I can stack these things. I'm gluing the cap back together. It was cracked already, but it fell off. Got the fan off. Horizontal output tube was okay, so there must be something else. Maybe a capacitor is causing the high voltage to be low or something, but the set was working. It's just when you turn the brightness wide open it would bloom. Alright, last on the list is the RCA and the swivel base color track stereo monitor. I'm going to plug it in here. Power is applied. And nobody is home. IC City. I do not have an adapter to test that CRT. This is much more modern than anything I ever work on. This is a KCS148, 149. Not KCS, CTC. CTC148, 149. Cool speakers. Yeah, there's a fuse right there. I doubt that's the problem, though. I can yank that and check it. The fuse is good. I checked it. I remember Brian fixing one of these, and I think there was a bad resistor somewhere, a little 2 meg resistor or something open in here. I don't know if this thing is even worth my time. You can't even give these sets away. You have to pay people to take these now. People have absolutely no use for this stuff. None whatsoever. Since this is pretty much just a nonsense variety video, kind of for my own documentation on where things are with these sets right now because I'm putting them away into storage. I figured I'd bring this out since I use it every day. It's the garage radio, and Matt got one of these and it's gonna restore it, and it's a great radio, and I hope he gets it to work as good as this one. This one's had absolutely nothing done to it. No capacitors, no tubes, nothing, and I use it pretty much every day, and I crank it up and run the hell out of it. And it's the only problem with it is the speaker starts rubbing when it gets hot, and that's probably because it's been subject to so much humidity and that. This thing is really beat. I mean, it's in really poor shape. Let's see if we got a see a model number on it. Let's turn it on. I'll just kind of show how it performs so that he has a reference on his. It's highly likely that this could have the bad IF caps. Not this one right now, but that could be a definite problem with this generation.
Now you can get it for $1. Your home will be free and clear in just 10 years. And yourself. At the
I guess that
And this is kind of one way I can always tell if the sensitivity is good or not by the noise between the channels, and you can hear that.
Coming up. And it's a crime sponsored by Slater.
Having a disease where I'm going to have to be on a medicine.
Brains and head back. First time that happened in decades, and I actually think.
Muchos de nosotros nos empezamos a desanimar porque el lugar donde estamos buscando.
That right there is television channel 6, which I believe is coming out of Mexico. And I have nothing but the factory little capacitive coupling antenna on this.
Democrats are fond of saying this week elections have consequences. Anything involving.
But the
Portable. Directors. Cash hit musical.
It's Friday and Saturday, October.
Which wanted? That's powerful. 3 fingers in the Hey, Verizon store. Verizon Wireless.
Irvine Sears Home Appliance Show.
And you could tell the AFC works awesome by the way it just bangs from one channel to the next like a digital tuner. I mean, this thing is super stable, super sensitive. It just locks right on and hangs in there. No warm-up drift, none of that.
Give up on Ziva? I didn't say it.
Man. And without
Deadly plane crash is only the beginning.
no es temporal.
We teach him to manage.
Advisor. As for their no-charge portfolio... Crazy. Yeah. You want to guess how many Papa John franchises Peyton Manning owns?
Because you're not spending as much money. At some point...
On the coaching staff. En el partido repechaje. /Kelpers for more information.
You're making strides against breast cancer. Walk in San Diego.
It looks and feels like the real thing.
Pretty awesome radio, man. The sensitivity of this thing is just incredible.
So we could see from the glass window what they have.
It's with the AFC off.
With them windows tinted. Who them girls you be with when you be riding through? Man, I ain't got nothing to prove. I paid my dues, breaking the rules and shit. Rules when I'm taking it. Tell me who's your man? How do you smoke so good? You's a superstar, bro. Why you still up in the hood? What you got in that bag? Job of just eyeing me spite.
10 years. Are you kidding?
Alright, enough of this.